Hey, what's going on, guys? Battle Nation's Emperor here, back today for another video. And today we're discussing demand in Battle Nations. So, demand is something that affects all of us from the very start of the game. Of course, every single shop that gives us a product, which is basically everything from the tool shop, farms, all the way to late game stuff. Of course, anything that gives us gold and XP after time, that is a shop. And of course, it is a demand. So, we're going to discuss everything demands have to offer, all 7 categories and everything, and we're going to start off with the overview. But before we do into that, just need to say, if you need a guild, you are more than welcome to join the Empire, linked in the description down below. We have casual and competitive options, so no matter if you just downloaded Battle Nation or have been playing for months now and looking to be, competitive, we have options for you in the Empire. So we would love to have you. And with that out of the way, let's go ahead and throw this bad boy up. This is the overview for demand, and as it reads, I'll read it out. It says, demand consists of 7 categories: food, tools, meat, drink, spices, goods, and security. Each of these categories has either one or more associated shops that are unlocked after each reaching of a certain level or completing specific quest lines. Players can access the demand window by either clicking on the population icon in the lower right of the screen, or by clicking on the demand specific icon in the upper left of the window, where you can choose goods from a shop. And of course, this is what it looked like back in the day. As much as I do like that and it brings back nostalgia, I do like our current day. This is of course what it looks like in game. It's right here. This is how we access it if we click it. Booyah, it brings up this beautiful bad boy right here. Pretty much more or less the same. Again, this is what it looked like back in the day. This is what it looks like now. So really more or less the exact same. I feel ours is a bit cleaner, me personally. Maybe that's just it being obviously in modern day graphics, 2026 graphics as opposed to 2013. But I like how it looks. So continuing on reading the wiki, which by the way, if you're curious to do yourself, it is linked in the description down below. But continuing reading on, it says, the number of the right here, the number on the left right here, of course we can see it here and in the initial screenshot, and it reads, the numbers on the left show how many workers the player has devoted to each demand category. How many workers are working in farms, fields, raptor ranches, etc., etc. The colored bar to the right shows a vague representation of how much demand there is for each category in your outpost. And we can see exactly that. So obviously I just got done with the stream on, of course, our channel, this very channel itself. I don't know why I, referenced it as a different one, but yeah, did that like a few hours ago. So my demands for meat and food, which of course my favorite to grind during stream, are both down, and that is what this bar represents. None of the others have been touched. As you can see, none of them have population. Tools actually do have a population dedicated to them, but I wasn't working on them, so that's why they're full. But foods and meats absolutely were. So just wanted to clarify that. Of course, that's what these population mean. Obviously the little numbers right here, how many people we've donated towards each category. And the bars, obviously they're full. They reset over a certain period of time, which we'll get into, but just in case you're curious, it is 72 minutes to get to the white line once completely depleted, and from complete depletion all the way back to replenish is 24 hours. But before I steal any more of this wiki's thunder, I'll go ahead and throw this up on screen. This is continuing on, and it reads, how demand works. And it says, the color bar for each category starts filling from the left to the right. Each time the player orders a good from a shop, the demand bar decreases based on the total XP reward of that shop. You will also notice a white line cross to the left end of the bar. I'm sorry, it said close. This white line represents the minimum amount of demand necessary to receive full gold and XP benefits from each good in your shop for that respective category. Each category takes 72 minutes to refill to the white line after being fully depleted. As I of course said earlier, and it says right there, and it doesn't say it right here, but again, for the full bar, it's 24 hours, but for that little white line right there, which can moderate depending on how much you abuse it, but the white line is always 72 minutes, full bar is full 24 hours, one day. And it also says, I'll go ahead and throw this up right here, it says, it is important to note that the gold and XP rewards do not increase the higher demand bar fields. All that matters is the demand bar is at or above the white line to receive full rewards. And that's true, because a lot of people might get that refused with boosted rewards, which boosted rewards are pretty confusing in and of themselves. They're a lot of misunderstood, which let's go ahead and get them out of the way. Here they are right here, of course, on screen, full straight from the wiki's mouth, and we'll go ahead and read it, and it reads, Blue arrow goods. A green arrow next to a job represents the demand is at least or above white line, and you are receiving full gold and XP benefits if you start the job. However, you will notice that usually there is one good that has a blue arrow. This represents an item that is receiving in higher demand, which means it is receiving an extra bonus to both gold and XP for a limited period of time. This time, or the time of an item, and this is where it gets confusing, or I would say it's the most misunderstood part about the blue arrows, is the time that an item keeps this extra bonus can vary between a minimum of 4 hours and a maximum of 30 hours. The extra bonus can vary between 50 to 150% to both gold and XP. So obviously, I think most of us know the varying factor. We can, be a little boost, it can be a big boost. But the time variables, that I feel it was always like 8 hours, but that makes so much more sense. It does kind of feel like sometimes it's super short, sometimes it's super long. I'll click my field right here, and yeah, unfortunately I was playing with them too much. We don't have anything boosted, and these general modes are all set. They were boosted, and we technically have 3 minutes on them. So if this video goes on 3/4 minutes longer, I can go ahead and show them maybe off. But it said I also had a tool shop on here, which go ahead and show out. I think this guy does have a boosted. Yes, it does. So yeah, perfect. We can show off a real time in the video. And as we can see right here, all of these guys are green. If I was to completely like just spam tool shop, or machine shop, we'll go ahead and throw it up on screen right here. Obviously the same category as tool shop. It would lower until eventually these are no longer green, they're red, and they give me a fraction. And I mean like basically what it costs, because we got to remember it does cost a little bit of gold to do these productions. So if they're not in demand, never do it if it's below the line, but we'll get into that of course further. But just wanted to show off the green arrows and blue arrows real time. Of course, you see this blue arrow, it's never going to be a reason to do the thing below it. Maybe if it's a mission reward or some super special case, sure, if you get like a bad roll, like it said, 50% to 150%, and it's the 12-hour and the 24-hour, and the 24-hour still beta, and you're about to go on vacation, sure, dude, the 24-hour in those type of cases. But in the vast majority of cases, you're going to be better off always doing the blue arrow. So of course, we'll go ahead and do it right here for the jackhammer. And as far as going down on demand, we can also see that tools, which was originally full, now went a little bit down. But food, which is above the yellow line, we can easily draw below the line. We'll just go ahead and spam 1 hours on our fields right here, because I love 1 hours on our fields. I mean, come on, man, gold and that nice 140 XP. So even that was not enough, but it was obviously enough to drain it down. And as you gentlemen know, it brings up a message on screen. It tells you that you've met demand, which is actually a very good thing. It means you've played the game to an extent. Now you just gotta wait it out, wait for it to recharge, and you should be good. So that is pretty much everything for the wiki that applies to us now. However, I would like to throw in this bad boy right here. This is for the future. This is purely for decorations, but I believe just in case decorations do come back to their former glory and get boost added back, just my thought, I'd mention it, especially since it's still in the wiki. I thought it was pretty cool. I'll go ahead and read it out, and it reads, Placement. Arranging buildings so that they boost is a key to rapid XP gains. A review of high-level players' layout reveals that arranging all like items together along roads with boosting decorations in between can increase rewards by 30 to 60%. Place your best producers in the center of decorations and poor ones on the perimeter. I adore that statement for multiple reasons, but my favorite being a review of high-level players. This is talking about decorations working. So this is old Battle Nations from a decade ago, probably early in that decade, like 2013, 2014. So well over a decade ago, 11, 12 years ago, and they had reviews on top level Battle Nations players. This community is incredible, man. So 30 to 60% is crazy. They say a review. I, for the life of me, cannot find that review. I wish I could, man. But unfortunately, it might just be lost to time. And yeah, as I say that, the raptor meat is done, or I should say General Mo's raptor. So we'll go ahead and collect them and see if they're boosted over here. They were when I placed them, as you see. They're paying out 552 XP. General Mo's is only supposed to pay out 240 XP and 200 gold, yet these pay, as you can see, 552 and 460 gold. So obviously I place them when they're boosted, and even though they're not boosted any longer, when I collect them, of course, they still give me the payday. It doesn't matter when you collect them, all that matters is when you place them. That determines the payout. And finally, we do have a few strategies within this wiki. However, even the wiki itself gives you this warning right here, which says, of course, section may contain information that is out of date. And I was, kind of willing to let that slide, maybe if we found some useful information, but it was just kind of all over the place. From ridiculous information that was just self-evident, like this right here, which, I mean, fair enough. Some players might not know this, pick the highest value based upon the time you'll be returning to the game. For example, before going to bed, pick the highest value item that takes 8 or 12 hours or less. Everybody knows to do a sleep cycle, like instinctually. Even as a kid playing this game for the first time, I knew that. So, that's a little bit silly. But what really kind of desensitized me was this guy right here. I quote, "Better storage is a hidden bonus to XP production. This is because it frees up workers to build more shops to produce more XP. This is what bind storage is the best way to spend nanopods." Let me just repeat myself. This is what bind storage is the best way to spend nanopods. I mean, look, I'm certainly not making fun of anybody for mistaking a word or two. Heck, if you got $1 for every time I did it in this video, you'd probably have 20 bucks in your pocket right now. But point being is this: how did they not proofread this? Bro, that was crazy. So I thought that was a little bit silly. So I'll leave you with my tips, which obviously I know aren't out of date, and I know are helpful to you right now. So first things first, and this one's pretty self-explanatory, focus on the big three. What's the big three? Pretty self-explanatory. That is meat, food, because obviously their bars are much bigger than everybody else's, and then tools. Even though it's relatively in formation with everybody else, the reason I include tools in the big three up there with foods and meat is because unlike everybody else that has only a few buildings really dedicated to them, you got to build around those buildings. Thankfully, when it comes to, meat, foods, and then the tools, you can just do tool shop at the beginning of the game. This guy is easy as heck. He takes 10 minutes to build. He's super cheap, super easy. So I just wanted to include him. Spam tool shops, obviously, and then machine shops later on, which I don't even have to throw up on screen anymore. I can just scroll back here, and we can see right here. These are obviously just late game tool shops, if we're being honest. Then, you right here, this is going to be one of your better productions for goods, uniform factory, and so on and so forth. Next tip, of course, play the game how you want, spend your nanopods how you want. This is just my personal opinion, but please do not spend your premium nanopods on shops. It's not worth it. The only one you can make a slight argument for is the greenhouse because of spice right here. If you're just somebody who really wants to be able to clear out all demand constantly, it's completely understandable. Unfortunately, really the only shop for spice right now is just greenhouse right here. It's the spice shop, as you can see, and then there's just nothing else. That's how it is for now. We'll see how it develops. But besides that, there is no justification for spending nanopods on shops. Just wanted to say that though, unless you just want Zoe's tool shop or one of the other ones just for the aura, right? Because I'm not gonna lie, if you want Zoe's just for the lore, I get that, to add one to your base. Or if you want, what's another good one that'd be nice to spend your nanos on? Ramsey's BBQ, because that obviously adds story. Not a lot of people like the Granite Grocer. This one actually is a good shop. I know I just discounted them, but only because they're much better. There's nothing bad with premium shops. just when you have storage and M10s in the game, there's just better ways to spend your nanopods. So again, if you are buying premium shops or you've bought premium shops, no disrespect to you whatsoever. In fact, you have the best shops in the game, hands down. I just personally believe with the free-to-play player mindset, it is better to lock in and spend your nanos more efficiently. But if you got good shops, you got good shops. A Ramsey's BBQ, and then, you know, something like a Mammoth Pen, Plantation, you know, not a better field that looks nice. And yeah, just stuff along those lines would be pretty freaking sweet. So yeah, and finally, last I just wanted to throw in there is have fun with it. Of course, it can be a little bit tedious because sometimes, you know, you'll wake yourself up trying to keep demand, or you'll try to, you know, go out of your way to build a particular building. All you really need from these, of course, is just gold and XP. Gold, there are much faster ways to do, whether it be mammoth encounters and boar encounters in the world map, or just simply farming gold a more higher up efficient way through raiding or late game occupation when we get that, you know, in the hopefully near future. But it's more efficient ways to get gold, and XP is only as valuable until you get max level. Obviously right now that's level 49, but even once we get level 70 back, we hit level 70, well, until Madrona decides, you know, add their own level increase, you know, that's that. So do not stress over shops too terribly much. Mainly just focus on them to the extent of where you can get XP, of course, till you're leveled up maxed, and gold if it's fun to you, but mainly just focus on the XP part. Very, very rarely do you worry about gold in shops. And yeah, that will just about do it for us on today's video. Just wanted to give out those quick little tips and tricks when it came to demand. Demand is one of the more misunderstood things. This is made from a commenter on one of the previous videos. I won't shout them out or throw up their name just because I didn't get permission from them. They didn't say no, but I also just didn't get a response from them, so I didn't want to accidentally, you know, show them if they didn't want to be showed per se. And yeah, that will just about do it for us. Guys, if you're still watching this, I greatly appreciate it. Thank you very much for watching this Battle Nations video all the way through. If you enjoyed it, please consider dropping a like down below and subscribing to the channel if you are new. Of course, again, if you need a guild, more than welcome to join the Empire. We would love to have you. If you're already in the Empire, thank you so much. You're a great Imperial. I love you. And yeah, guys, that will do it. Thank you again for watching this Battle Nations video. Feel free to drop any comment you would down below. As long as it's respectful to everybody and Battle Nations related, it goes. And that will do it for us today. And as always, have a great rest of your day. And I'm just going to go ahead and end this video off placing wimps. Wimp ASMR. Yeah. Do you like the soothing training of my wimps? Probably not, because I just realized there's no audio besides the background music. My bad. Alright, have a good night, guys. Or, I'm recording this at night. Have a good day, whenever time you're watching this.